4 holdouts remain. There are 4 solid no votes for ACC expansion with California and Stanford. Florida State is a no. North Carolina is a no. North Carolina State is a no. Clemson is a no. Welcome to episode 292 of College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. And if you do us well, please subscribe to our channel. Smash that like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and friends. Andrea Adelson, ESPN, last night, article published. 4 ACC schools are opposed to adding California Stanford. A source confirmed to ESPN, but expansion discussions are not completely over as of Friday night. We provide a link in the description. You can read the whole article. Please put down your comments in the comments section below the video. Though there is no call currently scheduled for the presidents to talk about expansion again, the discussions continue in the hopes that perhaps they can get to 12 yes votes. The required number to add teams, Florida State, North Carolina, Clemson, North Carolina State, are opposed, a source said, confirming news first reported by Sports Illustrated. One source described the expansion discussion as being on life support. 2 days after ESPN reported the talks among the presidents hit a significant roadblocks following a call among presidents Wednesday night. Expansion discussions are on life support. Multiple sources indicated there's no deadline to make any decision for the ACC, and a president's call would be scheduled at any time. A vote will be taken only if there are enough yes votes. One source believed a decision should have been made during the Wednesday call. I would imagine that there's not much more for them to discuss. I would think that the next item on the agenda is to make a decision. It should be noted, the 4 schools that are no votes right now, the 4 schools that are opposed among the group of 7 schools that have had separate discussions looking at the ACC grant of rights and a path forward. The ACC grant of rights ties the league together through the end of the television contract with ESPN in 2036 and gives the conference control over member schools' media revenue and broadcast rights. That's very, very important. We've been talking about that at Peek Around the Corner. We still believe at PATC the conference owns the individual school's rights. Other people reporting ESPN now holds those rights. We do not believe. ESPN owns the license, the distribution license of ACC contract. But the conference itself owns each and every ACC school's members' media rights. For California Stanford, the clock is ticking as they evaluate future options. There is appeal among a majority of the presidents to add California Stanford from an academic and Olympic sports perspective. There is not nearly as much appeal among athletic directors, however, for a host of reasons, including football, finances, and West Coast travel. The ACC is facing a $30 million annual revenue gap with the SEC and the Big Ten, and the priority for athletic directors is to try to significantly enhance revenue in the league. The ACC has looked at expansion options over the past 2 years, but has had not added any schools because they do not enhance the conference's financial situation. That is also the case with California and Stanford. Neither school would add to the financial bottom line, sources indicated. But there is another component at play that might be more appealing than finances. With Florida State's President Richard McCullough telling his board of trustees last week the university would have to very seriously consider leaving the ACC unless there is a radical change to the conference's revenue distribution model. Adding schools could solidify the conference into the future. Any team that wants to leave the ACC for the next season must notify the league by Tuesday, August 15th. Tick-tock. But perhaps that is why talks are not completely over, as there continues to be a waiting game to see what Florida State does. Though multiple sources indicated it appears unlikely the Seminoles will do anything by Tuesday, there is a bit of a guessing game involved in what could happen. And finally, with the prospect of adding no schools on the table and understanding Florida State is serious about leaving, perhaps the Seminoles open doors to getting what they want. A change in the way the television revenue is distributed. Or perhaps their vocalness will not change anything. More clarity is expected once the deadline passes, the deadline of August 15th. I believe Florida State has been pretty clear. They need a radical change in the distribution revenue model in the ACC. Not just about performance, but about television ratings. They have made that clear. They have spoken loud and clear. Now, that is from Florida State's perspective. From PAT's perspective, once you start going down that road of unequal revenue sharing, the conference is lost. But from Florida State's perspective, well, they want out. They want out. They feel they need to be out. It sounds like they're gearing up a war chest to whenever they withdraw from the conference. They will have the money to possibly take this to court for the grant of rights or pay their way out with the settlement with the ACC to get out of the grant of rights that the ACC owns, not ESPN. But then again, ACC, would they even have to accept? Are they obligated to accept this massive check that Florida State's about to hand over? That is where we need clarity. Then the courts may be the only place to provide clarity. In the article, it says ACC expansion talks is on life support. I think it's time they pull the plug. I don't believe it's going to happen. What type of deal would it need to be made to get one of those schools to flip? North Carolina State, Clemson, and Florida State. For them to flip their no vote to a yes vote. I don't think it's possible. And I also believe there's more than 4 schools that are truly no votes. But it doesn't cost any of those other schools anything to be a yes vote for expansion right now when they know there are 4 solid no votes in the pocket. Put down your comments below the video. Let me know what you think is about to happen or not happen on August 15th, the deadline for Florida State to withdraw from the ACC conference. Or does Florida State, do they wait for another year? So they're going to be playing ACC football in 2023, 2024, and the next escape hatch would be 2025 if they are willing to challenge the grant of rights, which is owned by the ACC. Which way are Florida State going here? They've talked a big game. Are they going to flip the script? Are they going to pull the trigger and leave in the conference with the withdrawal notice before August 15th? Or is it going to happen next year? Stick with us here at Peek Around the Corner as we follow this fascinating ACC drama. Holy smokes. Until next time. From all of us at PATC, to all of you, please, you all take great care of each other. Thank you so very much.